This is the Ring of Honor, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy.
This is Mr. Anderson.
This is good old JR Jim Ross, and you are listening.
You're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts.
Cover! We got us a new world champion!
That might be one of the craziest knockouts I've ever seen in my life.
Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby! It's the real deal, baby!
Knockouts and 3 Counts starts now.
Ooh, what up, though? It is another Tuesday. This is Knockouts and 3 Counts, and man, we got a busy-ass week, but we'll get to that too. But we've got the return of the brothers Gutierrez. We've got Mando and Miguel coming through off a big win in APFC, and then you had your big win in Japan, and you got big news that we got to talk about as well. So before we get into any of that stuff, I guess that's as good a place as any. Mando, it's been a minute. Appreciate y'all coming back through. Talk to me about what's new in your world. Talk to me about Japan, dude.
Dude, Japan was awesome. It was a fucking trip, man. So I got linked up with Kaya Sakura because of one of my homies, Billy Bigelow, who's his head coach. And he pretty much was like, hey, we could use the grappling work. If you want to come out, we'll fly you out to Thailand. We'll get work in. And we did, and we got good work in. So then they shipped me out to Japan with them too, just to get them ready for the Pantoja fight. And I was out there for a month at each place, and it was a unbelievable experience, you know, something I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. So yeah, I'm super glad that I was able to do that, go out there and fight, get to watch some wrestling, get to watch some MMA, like just get to live a whole different culture, whole different lifestyle. So it was dope.
I seen the smile light up just when you were talking about it. Talk to me about some of them culture shocks and like the things that you experienced while you were over there.
Bro, it's such a disciplined place. Like it's hard to explain. It's so pleasant. Like everything is so clean. Everybody's super respectful. Everyone follows all the rules. There's like everybody's really like nobody really talks too like loud or anything like that. Everyone's just really respectful and minds their own business, but they're all very nice. They're not people of many words, but they are very respectful and very cool and very accommodating. So it was just a really eye-opening experience, and it was just super fun to be there.
How did that did that change much for you as far as the lead up to it, or was it something to like where you had to go out there for a while beforehand so you can like get used to like time difference or anything, or like training differences, or like did it change anything fight week?
It changed everything. Literally, their training style over there is very, very different to what I'm used to here. And it was that part of like the aspect of being in Japan that was more of a culture shock than the culture shock itself. Also, you can't find a cheat meal out there. Even if like when I had permission to have a cheat meal, you can't find it, dude. Everything is clean. Like to them, a cookie is like a piece of bread with like some dark chocolate in there, you know? So I definitely got my weight down a little earlier than normal. So it was a super efficient and easy cut, but for good reason, you know, it worked out well, and I had a tough fight ahead of me. So it was good that I got that weight off early and I was in such good shape.
Hell yeah. Miguel, my man, I watched your work the other week. I was talking with your brother about it. I'm still bummed about what happened to past guest of the show, Cody Lynn. Still ride with Cody Lynn on that one. But my man, you keep seeming to make yourself a footprint over there at APFC, man. They keep bringing all these big names in there, watching you guys fight. And what the hell is it about your fights that you just are like allergic to not having a fight that doesn't act like a war at some point? Because like, I swear, between your first fight, which I commentated, which you got dropped like 5 fucking times and still choked the guy, and then this time, like, you know, I feel like you're just allergic to not having an exciting fight, which is a good thing, but we gotta work on you taking damage, my man.
So with APFC, it's the shit. Like, you know, I like exciting fights. I don't want to go out there and just kill time, run around doing shit that don't need to be done out there. I mean, a fight's a fight, and like, I don't know. I just really didn't see it going past the first round this time. Like, I don't know how it was gonna go. I just knew I was gonna go out there and it was gonna be quick. Like, this guy, like when I was getting ready for his fights, like it made me feel like it made me feel something I hadn't felt in a long time. Like watching his fight, I was like genuinely like worried. Like, I was like, this guy he's pretty good. But I went out there and like, I just like when I fight, I turn into a different person. I walk out, song comes on, and it's just like all the worries are gone. Like the fight happens either way. The fight has already happened somewhere on the timeline. The fight's already happened. So the outcome is the same no matter what. What's meant to happen is supposed to happen. So I just got to do whatever I got to do to get ready for that. And it's like the plan for this one. I was gonna go out there and just strike with the guy and then get to the takedown. And that's how it was going. I went out there and I cracked him. But bang, he cracked me right back. And like, it hits a switch in you. Like, it's muscle memory. Like I can't really think too much while I'm out there. Everything always just happens. And like before I knew it, the fucking ref was pulling me off him and just telling me to like, he's done. The fight's over. And I was like, oh shit, fight's over.
I mean, Kyle had brought up the level of excitement and stuff in your fights and stuff, and continuing to live up to that pace and stuff. But do you think that's why you've gotten some of these positions on some of these, like, Anthony Pettis fight promote? That's a pretty big like move for where you're, currently at in your career. Do you like being already in this position? Do you feel like you've been kind of slung forward, or are you happy with the continual like movement
it's the
forward?
shit, man. Like I've always felt like I've been a showman. Like I go out there and I do my thing. I don't need to do much talking either. Like my fighting really just does the talking for me. And like whether people think I go out there and I get fucked up and I somehow end up winning, or people think I'm actually out there and I'm doing good, like people watch either way. And like I'm having fun doing it. Like I really like doing this, and I don't know, it just brings me like a level of excitement like I wouldn't get anywhere else in life. Like there's nothing like stepping in that cage. Until you do it, like you can't say shit about the people that do it. But being on APFC, like it's sick. Like it's a bigger show than most amateurs are used to be like fighting on. Like this past show, it was at the Potawatomi Casino, which is like one of the biggest casinos in Wisconsin. And like just pulling into the place, get into the parking garage, I'm like, wow, dude, this place is fucking huge. But like I think back and like I've been here before. Like I've fought in big arenas before. This is my third APFC fight. I'm already looking on fighting my fourth APFC fight in June, and like it's just cool. It's sick. Like it's something other 21-year-olds don't get to do very often. Like
facts.
I fight in big arenas that are fucking filled up to the brim, and it's the shit.
Well, you touched on something that I wanted to bring up too. Another cool thing with you getting to fight at a place like APFC too is they're regularly just bringing through like a who's who of MMA, the UFC, whoever it might be on a given fight. Like with them having guys like the likes of Dustin Poirier who were there at your last fight. Have you gotten to pick up any like knowledge, or have any of them kind of like giving you anything after your fights? I mean, having a big highlight reel finish like that after having a fight like that, I'd imagine somebody might have said something.
The line to get the patient. For me, like the big names, they don't really do that much for me. Like it's cool like getting to meet these guys that I've like seen on TV before, but that feeling of like being starstruck, it went away a long time ago. Like
yeah, I don't mean like starstruck in a sense. I'm saying like when you have a performance like you did and they're watching your fight, have you gotten to pick up like any nuggets off them? Have they given you any like, yo, I like the way you did XYZ the third in the cage like that?
Nah, nothing like that. I mean, to me, to them, I'm just like a pebble on their shoe, Like they're up there getting paid to do something. Like they're doing meet and greets and stuff, and like I'm just an amateur fighter on the card. But I definitely have been able to meet some really like big fighters that have given me like cool insight. Like after my first APFC fight, I went right back to the locker room, and Mike Valley was there, and I had been training. Like it was just when I like first started coming around, but he recognized me through my brother. It was like 2 years ago now, and he actually like as soon as I came back, he watched the full fight start to finish, and he was like, "Hey, I want you to meet somebody," and he introduced me to Yair, and that was 2 years ago, and I just had like a conversation with him in the back, and we went over some things. But it's been cool because like now since I go to Valley a little bit more consistently to spar and stuff, I get to see Yair all the time, and it's like cool. Like I wouldn't like expect him to recognize me, but like it's cool that like we get to see each other, talk a bit. Like and just talk about normal shit, like, hey, what you've been doing while you've been in town, stuff like that.
Hell yeah, man. Like I said, stuff like that's the invaluable stuff, especially rubbing shoulders with guys like that. That makes you know that you're, in the right company. Mando, that being said, man, before we get to PFL and what you've got coming up here with the world tournament and all that stuff, man, I got to know what happened with the fight that you were supposed to have with Andre Ewell, because you're not the only guy I know who was supposed to be on that card. Like, I heard a lot of things about that card. How did we go from that fight to getting over to PFL?
So the whole promotion was actually my manager's promotion, and he was, showing me love with the tough matchup, prime time in Vegas, doing the whole thing, and they just so happened to give, like, the opportunity showed up around a Tuesday, Wednesday on the week before fight week, like right around this time for my fight next week. And they were like, would you do it? And I said, sure, let's do it. And it was one of those let go, let God type of things, right? I was like, hopefully, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, it is what it is. It wasn't meant to happen. So I just go on about my training. I'm getting ready either way. And then Friday night comes around and he's like, hey, congratulations, you're in the tournament. And automatically, nothing else needed to be said. I knew that I was automatically getting pulled out of my fight, which was a really selfless thing for Randall to do for me, my manager. And, he was super excited for me. Obviously, this is a way bigger situation, way bigger opportunity. And I got to go out there and get this bag, man. He didn't want to stand in the way of that. So, unfortunately, I couldn't fight Andre. If I see him ever, whether it's in the street or in a cage, I owe him a scrap. I'm a man of my word. If I sign my name, we got to do it, I reached out to him and everything, and I let him know. I'm like, listen, bro, I'm a man of my word. Like, I've never been one to say, like, I don't deny anybody a fade. Like, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. And like, this is just a big opportunity, and I hope that you can accept that. Like, it is what it is, because I know that he's been through the same thing I've been through. Like, I've done 8 fight camps for 2 fights in the last 2 years, and he's been on that exact same trajectory. See, he's had to resort to fighting in karate combat or doing boxing fights because nobody wants to fight him. And so the fight didn't work out. Obviously, my teammate Nick Aguirre also didn't get to fight at that card because his opponent, Anthony Burchak, pulled out, which I already knew was coming. I just didn't want to bring no negative energy into the world, That's why I personally wasn't comfortable necessarily taking that fight, because it's an older guy, juiced to the brim, fucking just trying to, like, make a little comeback, whatever, because he's feeling himself because of the I'm not gonna say nothing, but you're picking up what I'm putting down. He's feeling himself all of a sudden for who knows what reason. Maybe he's just drinking really good Gatorade, but
that Bobby Boucher shit.
All of a sudden, he just started making excuses on fight week, and he pulled out, and they just couldn't come to terms with Nikki and Andre fighting each other because it was going to be at 2 different weight classes. And unfortunately, like, fight week was just real tough for them over there at the promotion. And they went from, like, I think 14 fights to like 8 or 9. So yeah, it is what it is. But like I said, my manager did a real selfless thing. He plugged me into that tournament knowing it would mean he would lose one of his main fights. And we're looking at that now.
Can't be mad at that, dude. And like you said, Ewell is a guy who has been through that grind. He knows, he knows the game, and ultimately it's a bigger opportunity for you. And I'll be the first to say it. I don't blame you in the least bit. You got to do what's best for your career. But
you can only imagine as well, not to interrupt, but you can only imagine if the shoe's on the other foot that the same thing's being
he'd
done.
do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And anybody in that situation would, as he should. But with that being said, as you said, PFL is one of the bigger promotions in the world. Talk to me about your thoughts on coming into PFL being like, at the timing of when it is, because you have a bunch of new fighters coming in, a lot of other fighters coming out. You're getting ready to go in here for the world tournament like that. Obviously, your goals are set on the tournament. But what were your thoughts when they said PFL out of all the promotions it could be?
Obviously, people always train with a certain goal in mind, to make it like to the top, and for me, somewhere along the line, it became a thing of, I think it's just how serious. Completely unrelated, but trust me, I'll put two and two together. Like I think my relationship with my girl getting more serious. You know, my parents getting older. Like my brother's career taking off. I think I realized that I'm at a point now where like this shit ain't gonna be forever, you know. I have to make the most out of every opportunity I have available, and I have to keep my eyes moving forward because one day this is gonna end, and I don't want to be chasing my own tail forever. I want to go. I'm a prize fighter, you know. I'm a real prize fighter. Like I'm a fight for the biggest amount of money I can possibly fight for, and this was a huge opportunity. And I'm every single time I've had an opportunity to, I bet on myself, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to win this tournament. So the second that they mentioned it, I mean, it was really, you know, I talked about it with Miguel. I talked about it with Junior and both of my brothers. And just went about it that way. You know, I just let go, let God, and it worked out. So that was my sign from God that this was supposed to happen. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to run it up, you know.
I mean, plus at the end of the day, you go in there and win this tournament, it only makes your stock rise. I mean, how many guys we just seen? What's his name? Henry DeRitter, the champion. He was the double champ over there and won championship. Yeah. You know, raise your stock over there and won championship. You know, your contract goes out, whatever the case might be. You know, then who knows? UFC, whatever it might be, opens its doors. But like you said, you're on one of the biggest platforms in the world. Miguel, for you, man, like, you know, you're getting to do all this training and you're seeing him, you know, start to make these moves, whether it be what we've already seen with him being on the Ultimate Fighter or going to do PFL. How much does that help you as far as giving you like drive as you come up, like you said, through APFC, getting to train alongside each other? Talk to me a little bit about your guys' training, because I know you guys have been getting a lot of work in a lot of spots.
Well, the work is dude, the work is crazy. Like we get to work with some really high level guys. One of our main guys is Nick Gutierrez. He didn't get to fight Burchak the other day, but he was really gonna put a bean on him. And you know that guy, he's just a crazy grappler that we have in the gym, and like it's just one of many names on the list. And like seeing what Mando is able to do, like it's always been cool. Like it's always like I was literally in 8th grade when Mando took his first fight. Like going to watch his first fight over in Grand Rapids and then coming back to high school the next Monday, like everybody's like, yo, like we saw your brother, all that shit. Like it's been real since the very beginning, you know? And like now it's always been serious. It's always been serious ever since he turned pro, getting on LFA, moving on to Contender Series, moving on to Tough. Like I've always just thought it was crazy what we're really able to do with this sport. And like, that's the direction I'm headed in. And like, it just shows me like even though there's peaks and valleys, you know, the peaks are always going to be there, and you just got to keep grinding, keep your head down, keep moving, and eventually like the right opportunities will call. And like with this tournament, I really do feel like Mando has a really good chance of winning. Like everything has just been too good lately, and I just feel everything coming along. Like we had our boy Jordy win the other day. I won the other day. And then just things have been good. Like it feels nice outside. Everything is good. Like,
hey, I like it. We outside, dude. I talk about it on the show all the time when it comes to momentum. Like I'm a firm believer in that in like any sport. Like I believe, you know, anybody can win on any night, but I'm a firm believer and it applies to any sport, whether you're talking about a football team that maybe, let's say they get on a 4, 5, 6 game win streak right before you go into the playoffs. But they got that momentum because they're just winning. Or like you said, being in a fight camp situation where you got multiple guys who are going out, you're all getting dubs, you're all, you know, raising your level as you go up, you know, you're going and fighting in these different promotions and you having that momentum, man. I'm a firm believer. I've always said it. I've been around fighting now for I've been around fighting for 20 years at this point. And that's one thing that don't get me wrong, skill ultimately is what pays the bills. But I'm a firm believer in if you can get yourself on a roll and you keep doing you keep picking that momentum, it's like the snowball you see going down the hill. You know, yeah, you might have a guy that might be able to just blow that shit up, but if you get caught up under all that snow, man, you're going to get rolled over like everybody else. And I think that good momentum and that good vibe that you guys are talking about is going to serve both of you well. Well, with that said, dude, as far as APFC, man, you know, is there anybody there? You know, I've been watching a lot of their fights, man. They put on a really good a really good presentation, especially getting to be on UFC Fight Pass and all that stuff too. You know, with your big win the other day, do you got anybody that you'd like to fight, or is it just next man up?
Just next man up. That's the way it goes. I mean, there's no shortage of competition here at the amateur level. Like, this sport really has been growing a lot since, like, from when Mando got started to like now. Like, there's just the level of competition has gone way up, and then the amount of fighters has gone way up. So there's guys out there, and there's guys that could take a fight in a few months from now, and then there will be a serious threat a year from now. Like, this is just how fast the sport moves, and whoever's the next guy up that's who has to get done up.
Hell yeah. Step up, get done up. I like it. I like it. Well, Mando, talking about this fight for PFL, dude, what are your thoughts on fighting in a tournament, and what are your thoughts on your opponent you got first up?
I'm not really allowing myself to think about what I feel about fighting in the tournament necessarily, because at the end of the day, it's all about this fight right now, you know?
Right.
There ain't no second round if I don't get past the first round, and I've had a whole lot of practice of falling on my face when I look at a bracket and start doing math and start making deductions and this and that, you know? So it's all about this fight in particular. Me and Francesco Nuzzi are going to go out there and we're going to fucking bang, and I'm going to come out and get my hand raised. That's all there is to it. You know, he's in the way. And the only thing that I do know is that there's a beauty in knowing that all I got to do is get to the next one and get to the next one. And then we'll get past that one and I win $1 million or $500,000. Well, but if you add up what I'm getting paid per fight on top of that, it ends up being a pretty good chunk of change. So nonetheless,
shit, that's more money than I've ever seen, dude. I'm with it. Let's get this money, bro.
That's what I'm all about, man. Like I said, man, I got a lot of people. Nobody's putting pressure on me, but I know that a lot of people depend on this. Not necessarily depend on it, but a lot of people are riding on this. You know, I'm putting that on myself. Like, this is life-changing money that can help me do a lot of things that I need to do, that I've set out to do since I was little, and that's what I want, you know? So at the end of the day, I'm going out there, I'm fighting Francesco, and him and I are going to get it in. That's all there is to it. You know, he's in the way, and I got to go take him out.
I like it, dude. And I love the fact that you're saying, like, you've got that, like, right on top, too, though. Like, obviously, you know, when you go into a tournament style like that, it's very easy to be like, okay, well, if I beat him, then I might have to fight this guy or that guy or that guy. But like you said, you don't go in there and take care of business in the first round and don't have your head on straight for the first round, dude. There ain't going to be no second round. So I love the fact to hear you talk, that you can tell that you're locked in. You can tell that you're keyed in. You know, you can tell that you know what time it is and what's at stake. I'm with that. Let's get the bag. I need to put some money on this shit and make some money my damn self. I'm with it, dude. But like I said, I think this is perfect timing for you too, because getting that win in Japan and then letting this be the next fight out of that, you know, like now getting to fight back in the States, like, you know, like you said, you know, Japan was such a different culture than what you're used to fighting in here. You know, as you get ready for this fight and ready for the tournament, I mentioned it a little bit earlier with Miguel. But all the different places you're getting to train, man, like, you know, we know that you still got your feet with Mercy. I know you're training out there with Valley Flow and all that stuff. What does camp look like for you for this tournament? And how are you going to be doing coaches wise headed into this fight?
Everybody knows, you know, I've been splitting my time, you know, perfectly down the center, half and half my sessions at Valley Flow, half my sessions at Mercy. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, I started with Joaquin and I'm ending this with Joaquin. No matter what, I couldn't not have him by my side. None of this would have happened if he didn't take me in from the very beginning. So I owe that to him forever. And not only is it that I owe him, I want him there. You know, he's it's like a comfort thing for me. You know, like I've been with him from the beginning, and he's always shown that he has my best interest in mind. He's always shown that he's gonna ride with me no matter what. So of course, he's going to be there. But also, you know, this game is all about the bodies. And right now, I got the great bodies at both places. Don't get me wrong. I got the best work in the state when I'm at Mercy. But there's several world champions, and that goes without saying here at Valley Flow as well. So the level in the room is absolutely insane. You brush shoulders with some really good guys. You get to pick a lot of really important brains. And I get a lot of attentive work, a lot of things that I need, and I feel like it's really helped me evolve. So I owe a lot to Mike Valley as well. You know, he's a phenomenal coach, and he's really motivated me and really helped me realize how good I can be, you know, and he believes in me. He motivates me. He coaches me hard, and that's what I like. You know, he's a tough coach, but he's very, very good at what he does. You know, obviously, you know, the entire world has taken notice. He's MMA Junkies Coach of the Year. MMA's Coach of the Year, period. You know, not many people have done what he's been able to do, especially at a smaller gym, quote unquote smaller gym here in Chicago. You know, so those two are going to be in my corner, obviously. And you know, anybody who knows me knows I'm never not rocking with my best friend JJ. So that's going to be my third, like always. You know, I corner him, he corners me, and that's the true comfort piece, because me and him started this together. During COVID, we were doing this shit in the basement of our house with no potential fights lined up whatsoever. We were doing it just because of how much we didn't want to fall off and how much we love the game. So we take this shit back to the basement every single time. I always remember those times with him. You know, just him and I in the basement beating the shit out of each other because we wanted to get better. And it paid dividends, and it still has. And he's doing awesome, undefeated, 7-0, 6 finishes. And then here I am, you know, stepping on one of the biggest platforms in the world. And we're taking this shit to the top, man. But I also want to shout out Doug Mango, Miguel's coach, his primary coach, because he's opened his door to me just like he opens his door to several high-level guys that always want to come in and work with us, you know. We get to work with, we bring in Jordi Maya, who just won this past week. A good friend of mine from Mexico. We bring in Nick Aguirre. We bring in Cody Lynn, as you guys know. So we definitely get good work in over there, and he always makes sure that I'm taken care of. You know, he makes sure on Mondays we get hard, detailed work in, detailed rounds, detailed rolls. On Tuesdays we get hard boxing, sparring, and he makes sure I get what I need. And I owe a lot to him as well, because he's not my he's not my coach, and he's never tried to be. He just tries to be. He's just a good person. He supports me, he motivates me, and he's just a breath of fresh air, man, because he's one of those dudes that he's done it all. He's coached several world champions, and he doesn't have to do that shit. You know, he's already done it. He's not looking for anything from me because he's already done it. It's nothing new to him. So it's cool for him to, you know, show me so much love and welcome me and have open doors for me. It's cool, you know. So I love repping him. I love working with him. So I feel like right now I have the perfect situation, you know, half the week and half the week, and shit's good, man. But I feel better than ever.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a fight's a fight, right? But when the game's evolved as much as it has, like Miguel was talking about just a little while ago, with all the new influx of talent and stuff like that, and just the constant like evolution of the game and stuff, when you have this many analytic minds that you can kind of look at your game from a different perspective, it's got to just help grow, you know, your career. At least I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely. I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed that all these people have shown so much interest in me and my brother. And you know, we get to go to these places. We're welcome there. We get hard, good work in, and the biggest thing is we're well respected, and we're well respected not because of what we do in the cage, but because of what we do in the gym. You know, we work hard, we show up, we don't fuck around, and people take notice of that. You know, I mean, you're not getting no free rounds with us. You're not getting no slack off rounds with us. Like, we're working everywhere we go, and that goes without saying. It pays dividends anywhere you go. Yeah, like, you step on any mat and they know that. I mean, I'm really working and I'm really trying. So if you want a hard round, I'm your guy. You know.
And with this world,
he's being a little modest with it, but every time he gets to go to Valley, like, my biggest concern when he got into fighting was I didn't want it to be like wrestling where everybody wanted to compare him to me, but that stigma quickly went away when people saw our different fighting styles, and like, no one, like, you can't even speak us in the same sentence most of the time, you know, just by the way we do things, which is awesome for me. But what's really cool for me is when he's not there, when people speak on him, when he's not around me. Like, when I'm at Valley, they'll ask me about my brother, or like, it's become a common thing to people to be like, oh my dude, I can't believe how good your brother is. Like, he's so fucking good and he's so young, and it's crazy what he can do. Like, I can't wait to see him put it together in the cage, you know, things like that. I hear that all the time. And it goes without saying, like I said, when he's at Valley Flow, or when he comes to Michigan, whatever it is, like, it's always open invite, and every time he goes, he's getting real work. He's working with the best guys, and you around here, you got to take that shit as a compliment because no one wants to waste a round. You know, there's only so many rounds in a practice, especially on a sparring day. You're only getting 5, sometimes not even that. If you have a fight coming up, you're only doing your 3 hard. So the fact that he's getting asked to do so many rounds on instances, even getting put in the cage to watch a coach's round. That's a big deal, you know, getting put in there for a guy that's in a fight camp. That takes a lot of trust and that takes a lot of respect, knowing that they're going to give him good work. So it's cool to see.
Hell yeah. Love to see that shit. And that it only goes on to what we were talking about with fight camps and all those things, dude. I am looking forward to seeing what goes down with this PFL tournament. But I got a few other fight questions we got to talk about before we get out of here. But I'm going to take it off the fight game for a quick minute since we've already talked about and by the name in your guys' box over there. I thought Jeff Hardy was going to jump in my Zoom box again. TNA, we can make that happen whenever you want. But with that being, you know, I just try to put things out in the ether. You know, we got to talk to them at the Bound for Glory press conference here in Detroit when Jeff and Matt won the tag titles, had the ladder match here. It was good times. But with that being said, I need to hear your guys' opinions. Have either of you guys gotten to see any of the stuff since John Cena finally turned heel and is I've been dropping heat on the fucking mic the last few weeks? Holy shit. That poor kid is going to have nightmares for the rest of his life.
I've actually, ever since they made the switch to Netflix, I haven't been able to oh, see, there goes Turtle right there showing some love.
Shout out to him on a big dub. You'll hear me on the commentary on that real soon.
That's the man. That's the man,
Turtle
bro.
Man, Turtle Man.
That's the man, Turtle, dude. We got love for Turtle. For those who don't know, me and Turtle were actually the coaches for my community college, and Miguel was our star wrestler.
And remember, that's how we remember. I was there doing the commentary.
All we did was go there and beat the shit out of each other with the guys. Like all me and Turtle did was go in there and wrestle them every day.
They were in there training MMA.
Like literally, we would train with them, and that was it. But it was awesome. It was a great season. We had a lot of success, so it was cool, you know. And then
I remember that.
That's it. But back to the wrestling. Yes, ever since they went over to Netflix, I haven't been able to keep up as much as I'd like to. You know, I'm in fight camp. You know, shit's going on. But I've been keeping up through social media, and that's crazy to see. But I mean, it's everybody's turn at some point. Everybody has to be there.
The fact he did it in his farewell run is wild.
I saw somebody made a good point that the guys that like watched him grow up, like they can understand why he turned heel, but like the reason they did it now is because the kids like they don't give a fuck. They didn't grow up with him. They don't care that he's turning heel. It's just like another story to them. But like at least like the older guys, like they know what's really going on. It's cool.
Dude, and that's what made that first promo so dope is the fact that he went out there and he's like, for 20 years, all you guys did was complain and say how I was shoved down everybody's throat, but nobody knew I was doing all the extra stuff. A lot of what I'm doing is your fault and your fault and your fault. And you just seen this whole crowd go from booing to just shutting up like, damn. He's got a point. So, like I said, and the fact that they couldn't have lined it up any better that like the last 3 shows have all been overseas because them overseas crowds are fucking rowdy, dude, because they don't get it that often. So like the fact that I think it was Brussels like first Raw ever. And so like, dude, they were just fucking rowdy. So I just know at Vegas, it's going to be cool. Although I sure hope these ticket prices come down because holy shit, are they taxing this year?
Are you guys going to Grand Rapids?
I'll be in Vegas for Mania.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Are you guys going to the Grand Rapids show?
Grand Rapids show, the SmackDown. I might be down there.
Why not? You know, it's right there.
Yeah. I don't know that I've been to any of them in Grand Rapids yet, though. I've been to Detroit, and all the Detroit ones I go to. I haven't been to the Grand Rapids ones, but I've thought about going down there a couple times because I know they do them at Van Andel.
It's really cool at the Van Andel because it's small and compact, and they lay it out perfect, and it's really loud. It's cool.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna have to check one of those out. I don't know that I've been out there to Grand Rapids for it, but yeah, dude, it's been a wild ride. I'm looking forward to Vegas. Shout out to past guests of the show, Chris Kale from Five Finger Death Punch. I just chopped it up with him today. I think you guys, if you guys are watching, it says we got about 225 of you guys watching here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on Knockouts and 3 Counts so you don't miss any of the fun. I think I'm going to be making a run out there. I know we're doing Wale Mania, so I'm going to be at Wale's party that Thursday. We're going to West Side Gun Show Thursday night. Let's see. Yeah, dude, we get down with it, bro. It's gonna be turned up, bro. Oh, shit, look at the IG. We were in the front row with him when we were working Royal Rumble. Shout out to our guy Mega Ran. He just did the new theme song for the New Day. That New Day drop you out here. That's the homie. So yeah, dude, it's gonna be we're gonna be getting after it. Also, shout out to Cody Stamen and all them. I know I'm gonna be making a run by Extreme Couture. I might check in on Kenny Cross while I'm out there as well. Shout out to him on his big dub for XFC. 14 seconds, man. Just dude, fucking people up.
That dude was legit too, bro, and he went out there and made that shit super light work. There's nothing else he can do. What's understood doesn't have to be explained. It is what it is. Like he has to.
His last win was really standout to me. The one, no offense to his opponent this time, but Emmanuel Sanchez is a guy I've been watching fight for a long fucking time in Bellator. I've watched that guy have wars, and to watch Kenny go in there and bloody him up like that to me shows the level that Kenny's on and that he can hang with those guys. So I'm with you, dude. I think it's only going to be a matter of time before he gets another phone call. It might have to be one of those that's a short notice thing, but I mean, with the shape that he's in, if he can go out there and do shit like he did in that XFC cage, I think it's only a matter of time before we could see him back in the UFC. Also, shout out to Ronnie Duncan, who was down here with me covering the Clarissa Shields fight, who was on the commentary for that fight the other night. I'm just saying, y'all need to call your boy. I'll be your partner for the next one. But with that being said, we've got some other fights that I got to get your thoughts on, man, because we had a couple weeks before they get there. But with what you guys have been talking about, training in Mexico, talking about guys like Yair and all that stuff, shout out to past guest of the show, Austin Bashy, has been helping this next guy get ready for Volk. You know, you got Volk and Diego Lopez. What do you guys think about that fight? I think it's a banger of a fight, but I feel like this fight's really going to show us where Volk's at. Because if Volk goes in there and beats Diego, Volk is still Volk. But if he loses this fight, he's still Volk. But I feel like this is really going to show us where he's at.
Yeah. I'm still leaning towards Volk just because, bro, he's been there so many times, man, and experience is a motherfucker, you know? And he ain't fazed by no 5-round fight. He's ready to go out there and bang. And he's going to bring it to him, you know? And this ain't the first or the last, surging prospect that he's going to have to take up. Diego's a phenomenal talent. He's super tough. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm going to sit down and watch this one as a fan, but I am leaning a little towards Volk just based off the experience alone. Nothing else that has to do with technique or anything like that. I think the experience is going to play a big factor here.
I think Diego stops him pretty quick.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Up against the cage and just TKOs him.
I mean, dude, he's got that dog in him, dude, and he's nasty to watch fight. And that's why this fight is so interesting to me. Because, like I said, to me, this whole fight depends on Volk. What Volk gets in the cage. Because if Volk gets in there and Volk isn't Volk, I agree with you 110%. I think Diego Lopez, again, I talked about it with you guys. I truly believe it. Momentum is a thing, and the hype and the vibe that is getting built around Diego. If Volk ain't on that tip, he definitely could get ran over. See, we already got it in the comments too. Diego's that guy. We're gonna find out. He said he's got him winning in under 2.5. All right,
we're gonna see it, man. That's a good take, though.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
If he gets it done, that's probably how it is. Stoppage within the.
I don't think if it goes further. I think the further it goes, it plays to Volk. I agree.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, nobody knows how to play their cards better than Volk when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Like you said,
we've seen what he's been able to do in them first 2 Holloway fights. I mean, really, the first couple rounds were just feeler rounds to be able to really, turn it on and become just ultimately that next level and 145 champ for years. So, like we had mentioned, man, it's for me at least, it's really a big point of like where he's at in his career. Is he still that guy? Like you had mentioned, Kyle. That's kind of the whole story for me, at least.
I think that's the story of this fight. But, talking about still that guy, there's no fight that illustrates that more than past guests of the show, Michael Chandler, getting into the cage with Paddy Pimblett, because I feel like one of two things is going to happen. Either Michael Chandler is going to go out there and run through Paddy Pimblett and show that it's like a hype thing, or Paddy's going to do like he did in his last fight and bounce back. And if he gets a finish over against a guy like Chandler, I think that officially like takes him out of like the title contention. You know what I mean? So like, again, I feel like it's like a crossroads fight, but it's a fucking interesting matchup. What do you guys think?
I feel like Chandler's going to maul Paddy Pimblett, and then Paddy's going to win by a sub. Like, he's going to get fucked up and then throw up a sub and get it.
Yep.
I could see that.
Michael Chandler is just pretty. He doesn't fight the smartest. Yeah.
What's fucking crazy is he's got such good wrestling, bro. Yeah, if he fought how he could fight, he would win easily, but he just cannot have. Like I said with you, hot damn it, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. Y'all motherfuckers can't have a boring fight. That's the problem.
For Chandler, man, he really this will be the fight that he'll end up using his wrestling, because his fight IQ is just not always there. He'll end up using his wrestling against a guy that his best method to victory is a submission on the ground. And that'll be how the fight will play out. I agree with you. I feel like it'll just be probably Chandler lands a good shot, maybe knocks him down, tries to get on top, and then Paddy finds a sub. I mean,
I'm not hating on Paddy, dude, but I hope, and especially since he's a past guest of the show, hot damn it, you guys know how I roll. I'm rolling Chandler. Let's go, Chandler, damn it.
The way he ran through Bobby Green though really showed me a lot, because Bobby Green's not one of those guys that gets thrown in submissions very easily. He's shown that throughout his whole career. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was his first ever sub in the UFC during that fight. So that being said, I mean, it's a dangerous threat down there for sure.
Oh yeah,
and we've seen what he's been able to do.
He's no slouch. Don't take and like I said, and I think his last fight was a real good bounce back. Like I think that reminded everybody what Paddy's capable of doing. Plus, in the same way I talked about momentum, I do think we could see a different Paddy now that he's got kids. Like that could have gave him like a different motivation. Like I'm a firm believer in that too. Like when somebody's motivation changed, you could see something different out of somebody. But
cheeseburgers down.
I mean, hey, dude, fucked around and found out, I guess. Dude, so with that said, the fight that I think we're gonna fuck around and find out, but I feel like this has got like fireworks on it and could be like some pro wrestling type shit, is Bryce Mitchell versus John Silva, dude. Who's gonna win this one? Are we gonna have fuck Bryce Mitchell chanting all through the building? How do we see this one going?
I see a whole lot of high fives when there's not supposed to be high fives. So I think Silva's gonna do what he does again. He's gonna go out there and lullaby somebody, being all touchy feely.
Everything's good.
We're just playing, bro.
And then just crack him. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be one of those, to be honest. But I like Bryce. I think he could get him to the ground a few times, but Silva's proven that it's not going to be that simple. Look at what happened to Charles Jourdain when he tried to wrestle heavy. He ate some nasty shots and he took a lot of damage because of it. So I don't see it being that easy for Bryce. So the method to a victory it's not that clear cut for him.
I agree, Miguel. You got any thoughts on that one, bro?
To be honest, I'm not too familiar with Silva. I just seen that they're both fucking crazy. I know Bryce Mitchell's really good, and I don't know. Hopefully they pay him back for the Nazi comments. But that's pretty fucking funny.
You're not wrong. I feel like no matter what he does now, that's gonna be like the first thing that everybody thinks of him about, and it's like, dude,
there's a guy to have a beer with, isn't he?
Right. Yeah. Give him a German beer. But with that being said, dude, matter of fact, you talk about some of the bodies you guys are getting to train with over there at Valley Flow. We've got Bilal's cousin and former Ring of Honor world champ, our guy Shane Taylor. Appreciate you sharing the stream out here, my guy. But with that being said, dude, I got one more curveball to throw to you. Now, I don't know if this one is full fact yet. I've been hearing rumors from a few different places, but I feel like it's fucking interesting, especially given the time period. Do you know that they're throwing? I've been hearing rumblings that there might be a Brock Lesnar fight in 2025 in the UFC. What? Yes, I just seen somebody tweeted it out earlier that he's been added back to the UFC.
Well, it's April 1st today, remember?
I mean, I'm just saying that would be interesting as fuck. Is all I'm saying would be.
It
funny.
is April 1st.
I know it is, and I think it's bullshit. That's why I said I just think it's funny with it being April Fool's Day, especially given the fact that he was supposed to be in WrestleMania and then that all fucking went down.
I saw a funny. Bisping is gonna fight the Cage Warrior.
I know, dude. That was funny as shit. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He can't even see, dog.
Bisping's pretty old, but he's not that old. Maybe he could do it.
But he can't see no more, though. Like his eye, he says it all the time on commentary. I can't see shit out of this eye.
Yeah, but I watch on his podcast all the time. He talks about because people will still call him out. He's like, fucking Karate Combat, give me a ring, So like,
oh my
God,
dude.
There was like this much of me that was like, when I first, because I seen the same post, and like, ain't no fucking
I've seen
way.
it too.
And then I was like, it's Cage Warriors, even less of a way, like even less of a chance. But then,
yeah, right. If he ever fights again, Dana White ain't never gonna let it not be for the UFC, man. That's why I had to bring it up just to see what y'all motherfuckers would say. But dude, we've kept y'all long enough. Mando, let everybody know where they can check out the fight, what you got coming, where they can check both of you guys out on social media, and you already know the deal. We already appreciate the time, and like I said, we'll catch you at some fights soon.
Yes, sir. I fight April 11th for the PFL World Tournament. It's going to be round 1 is going to be streaming next Friday on ESPN Plus and ESPN2. So check me out, man. It's me, Francesco Nuzzi, and we're going to go crazy. So yeah, I mean, all developments obviously always go through my Instagram, El Toro Gutierrez. So check me out on there. And my boy right here, 71203.
Yes, sir.
71203. Fight news coming soon. Gonna be for APFC again up in Wisconsin. Looking at June right now.
Fuck yeah, you love to see it. I gotta get to one of these APFC cards, dude.
You have to, bro. The Potawatomi this last time was bumping, bro. That was one of the coolest shows I've been to yet. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, for the next step up, for the Fight Pass type of cards, they seem like they're putting on some real killer shows for sure.
I've been to because another big Fight Pass show is that Fury show in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to that, and it's nothing compared to APFC.
Oh, you can see just on the look on it, and it's not talking bad about him. Like a matter of fact, I had you on the show before that fight. Matter of fact, I remember I was watching that when we were at the Metallica concert. But with that being said, I mean, dude, they're one of the top ones too. But like you said, I like the production value. I like the fact that, you've got such a, I think having a recognizable face like AP on the front of it helps a bunch. Then when you're bringing in all those big names, it just makes it seem bigger. Plus, like you said, those casinos that they run a lot of the time, it looks top notch, even if it is regional fights.
Yeah. Oh no, it's nice. Believe that. Like it gets you ready. Like it gets you ready and primed for like the next biggest thing. You won't be starstruck. You'll be ready for whatever comes next. It's a dope. They set the stage up real nice.
Hell yeah, dude. You love stuff like that, and I think that's so essential, especially like having got to do so much commentary and things like that. I just think the bigger stages you can get on the regional scene that just make it to where it's another day in the office when you guys make that other step. I can't wait to see what's next for you, dude. We'll be behind you and in the corner when it happens. Appreciate all the kind words that you've given as far as the show as well, so appreciate both of you guys on that. But before I let you guys get out of here, I gotta let everybody know if you guys are going to be at Astronomicon this weekend. We are going to be at Astronomicon. We are credentialed for everything. Who knows, maybe I'll even talk to Angry Grandma while I'm out there. But I will tell you, it looks like we've got Sting, Bret the Hitman Hart, Trish Stratus, Lita. You've got Britt Baker from AEW. Kevin Nash is going to be there. Danhausen, and your current and former guest of the show, TNA World Champion Joe Hendry. Say his name. He will appear. We will be at Astronomicon. Make sure you hit that button because you don't know who's going to be on the other side of my microphone come this weekend. And if you're going to be at any of those clip fights, you can catch me ringside. So in the meantime and in the in-between time, hit that subscribe button. Check these boys out. Check Mando Catch a Body in the PFL and hit that button.